For more details regarding the visit of His Highness the Crown Prince Sheikh Sabah Khalid Al Hamid Al Sabah, may Allah protect him, to the United Kingdom, I am now joined live via video call from London by our correspondent Abdurrahman Limhanna. Abdurrahman, good evening. Abdurrahman, can you tell us more about the significance of the visit by His Highness the Crown Prince to the United Kingdom? Again, maybe you didn't hear me. Again, can you tell us more about the significance of the visit by His Highness the Crown Prince to the United Kingdom? Do you hear me, Abdurrahman?
Yes, Hamad, I hear you. Yes,
Okay,
Hamad.
let me repeat the question again. Can you tell us more about the significance of the visit by His Highness the Crown Prince to the United Kingdom?
Yes, so we're here in London because this visit marks a diplomatic moment, an important diplomatic moment of the official visit of His Highness the Crown Prince Sheikh Sabah Al Khalid Al Hamid Al Sabah. May Allah protect him, to the United Kingdom. Also as a reaffirmation of the long-standing relation that both nations actually have between the state of Kuwait on the one hand and on the other the United Kingdom. Now it is important to enumerate that this is also could be a powerful message, powerful message that this shows a strong and trustworthy relationship between both nations. It's not only a formal visit by His Highness the Crown Prince, but also a message that both nations will continue to build bridges of cooperation together in the near future. Now this leads us to another important point, that both nations are old partners. Now the UK and the state of Kuwait share more than 125 years of relationships and of partnerships. We've had 2024, all of 2024 in the state of Kuwait, where we've celebrated our relationship with the UK culturally, politically, and in all aspects. I mean, we have the statistics say that more than 10,000 students study in the UK, and of course people come here for tourism as well. Thousands of people come here for tourism and also for investments, which we will touch upon later on with our next point. But more importantly, the partnership between both nations not only goes back to more than 125 years. Actually, it goes back to even further than that, to the Anglo-Kuwaiti agreement. To those who are interested in history, the Anglo-Kuwaiti agreement, which was dated back to in 19 or 1899, around that time, and it was led to growth through like decades, to growth of diplomacy, policy making, defense, and other aspects that led to how both nations now interrelate together. Now, of course, Britain stood with the state of Kuwait in the liberation in 1991. We know that, and they've also sent military soldiers as well as other countries, but they have stood by Kuwait in critical times. I mean, both nations do stand with each other in good and in difficult times. So an example was the liberation, where they contributed with actual soldiers, and lots of them have actually sacrificed their lives. So yes.
Yes, Abdurrahman. And moving on to the other point, can you tell us more about the economic partnership between the two countries, and how do you see it developing further?
Exactly. Now that's an important point, Hamid, you touched upon. Beyond politics, looking away from politics or beyond the concept of politics, when we look at economy, it shapes an important aspect and factor of the relationship between the state of Kuwait and the United Kingdom. And I'll come to that in a second. Now, because the relationship is important economically, the UK is an important destination. It's considered an important destination for the Kuwaiti investors. I mean, Kuwaiti investors do go around the globe for investments, but the UK is one of the most important, and we'll get to the points that make the UK one of the most important destinations in terms of investments, whether be it in real estate, whether be it in cybersecurity, whether be it in any other aspect of investment. One other aspect is the Kuwait Investment Office based in London. I think, as all of us know about the Kuwait Investment Fund, which has been since 1953, around that time. We're speaking about more than 70 years of one of the oldest sovereign wealth funds offices in the whole world. That is definitely in the UK, and have built strong investment relations with the UK, and have invested in lots of aspects in the UK, and made lots of partnerships and contributions, which we will also touch upon. But more importantly, UK welcomes Kuwaiti investments and investors as well for many reasons. Kuwaiti people like to go to the UK for investment for several reasons. One of them is that it has a stable economy, and of course, as well as having a stable economy, has to entail other things like having a strong legal system, and a strong legal system makes the environment generally a good environment for investments. So we have the Kuwait Investment Office in London, and also the UK is stable economically, and it's stable and solid in terms of its legal systems and policies and legal rights. So that makes the UK a safe place for Kuwaitis to come and invest in real estate, to come and invest in other aspects. For example, partnerships in such as cybersecurity, partnerships in energy transition, and in techs. And as to end my point, with total trade have totaled about 6.2 pounds sterling just as of last year. About that number, these are the last data that we have, and of course we are very sure that this cooperation would, of course, bring more numbers and exports of machinery, cars, and refined oil from Kuwait to the UK, and vice versa in terms of cars and machinery between both nations. Hamid.
Abdurrahman Limhanna, KTV2 correspondent in London, thank you again for your input.